Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the fall 2025 Barcelona semester program. And joining us today, we have Professor Judith Hunt, and she'll be teaching and leading the students in Barcelona. And we have Miss Paula Messina. She is our representative from AIFS. AIFS is our program provider. We've been working with AIFS for many, many years, and they are wonderful partners. They provide wonderful service to our school and to our students. And my name is Kelly, and I am the program coordinator for study abroad. So I will pass the mic to a professor to start the presentation.
Hi, Carmen. Thank you for coming and thank you for your interest in the Barcelona program. We just want to sort of introduce you to the program, let you see how it works, and talk to you about why you should consider Barcelona. Um, you may know this, you may not. This is a program that is actually a Northern California consortium, which I think is really unique and quite nice. So altogether, there's 11 campuses that participate. So there's students coming from our district, from College of San Mateo, but also Cañada and Skyline, and then all the other schools that you see here. I think the really nice thing about that is it gives students the opportunity to meet other students from the Northern California region, but not from their campus necessarily. So it sort of broadens your network of students, which is very nice because most of you are on the same trajectory for transfer. So I think any connection you can make that way is really nice. Um, I think the question often comes up, why do study abroad? Um, we know that 90% of students don't do it. Um, And I think that is part of the reason to do. Um, as y'all are all transferring, many of you are applying to transfer to schools that are really impacted. There's so many applicants, and y'all are all wonderful. So how do schools decide? How do admission committees decide? I think doing study abroad really makes you stand out. It sets you apart from so many other students who are really wonderful, but just haven't been able or haven't decided to take advantage of this opportunity. So I really think it helps you in that way. But beyond that, I think study abroad is one of the most impactful things you kind of ever do in your life. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but it isn't. As someone who did it, my kids did it. Um, Lots of people on this Zoom did it. And I think when we all look back at those really transformative moments, that study abroad experience is there. I can also say, as a faculty member, teaching and study abroad, doing this work with my students has been so transformative to me as a professional. And I think it's one of those things, whether you're writing your transfer applications or you're applying for a job or you're just socializing with people, it gives you so many experiences that no matter how rich our campus lives are, you just can't get it at home. So I think the value there is, I don't think you can replicate that any other way. The skills it gives you, it makes you learn to handle adversity. It makes you able to deal with new environments, since many of you will be transferring. You'll be transferring to a new environment. If you've already done study abroad, then that'll be a cakewalk. You'll be very accustomed to getting outside your comfort zone, meeting people who are different than you, and really forming those lifelong bonds. Um, so I think it gives you all sorts of very practical skills about how to navigate your world. Um, but also it gives you a lot of soft skills that I think not only campuses are looking for when you're applying, but also employers. This is not something, you do once and then you sort of forget about that experience and move on. I think it's something that grows with you. I think it makes you much more autonomous. I think it makes you a great problem solver. And I know with my own kids, I watch them and I'm so impressed with how they can really navigate their lives anywhere in the world. They're not afraid to go anywhere. They can manage. And I think a large part, I would love to claim that was because of my fabulous parenting skills. But I think a lot of it was because of their study abroad experiences. So I think it's really useful in that context. Then the question comes up, why Barcelona? Um, Barcelona, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it really is quite a magical city. It sits, cuddled on the Mediterranean coast. The climate's beautiful. You've got a beach, and unlike Northern Californians, the water's really warm. The ocean's beautiful. Um, but it's also a very cosmopolitan city. So I think it has all the advantages of big city living without a lot of the downsides. It's a really easy city to navigate, to get around on foot. There's lots to do. There's beautiful architecture. There's great museums. There's wonderful food and music. And the people in Barcelona are very, very nice. They're very open and laid back and very friendly to people who want to experience Spanish life. So I think it's really great in that context. It's also really great if you want to travel. Um, some of you may want to spend most of your time in Barcelona. It's worth it. The time will go by very fast, but you also might want to take a weekend getaway. And unlike being in the United States, it's really easy to hop around, to go to Paris, to go to London, to go to Portugal if you want to. And there's also just to hop on a train and go to Madrid is really lovely as well, or go down the coast. Lots of great day trips to go. So I think Barcelona, and I used to live in Paris, so I'm really familiar with European cities. I've spent a lot of time in Europe. I think Barcelona is probably, in my opinion, the most cosmopolitan, but still really relaxed, safe, easy to navigate urban environment with lots of green space, the ocean right there, the mountains are really close. So I think it's great. I'm biased, I should say. My family, we love it so much that we live there part of the year, and our kid lives there. One of our kids lives there full time, and I don't think she's ever coming back. Um, so it really is a terrific city. And I think another unique thing, and in just a few minutes, I'll quit talking so much and I'll turn it over to Paula. I think a nice thing about this program is it's not just the 4 faculty members that you'll have from the different campuses. I'll talk about the courses in a moment, but you also have the support of the AIFS, and that's a really unique system. The people involved in that organization, this is their profession, this is their jam, this is what they do. They help create opportunities for students to go abroad and for institutions like ours to offer our students the best experience. And so they coordinate so many things, including a lot of the excursions and activities that we'll do outside of the class, the classrooms, and they have a really tremendous support system for students while they're there. I was in a meeting with them last week and I was really impressed. They know the city so well. And so I think that support system is really kind of wonderful. Um, you may notice that the dates of the program, it's a condensed semester. I think this is also another terrific advantage. The way this is set up, you don't need to go through the student visa process. Not that that would be a problem, but it's always better if you don't have to do that. So it fits just in the dates of when US citizens can be abroad without having to apply for a visa. Um, the other advantage, I think, so it's terrific for that reason. So the only thing you really need besides, the application process and getting that all straight is a valid passport. But the other thing I think that is really nice about this schedule is, again, for those of you who are transferring, this helps you acclimate to what your semester will look like. It will be closer to this than your regular semester in our district. You'll either go to a system that's one of the California schools that are on a quarter system. So you're talking about 10-week semesters, 10-week terms, or you'll go to one of the schools that's on a semester system, but still then usually a semester is about 14 weeks, not 18. So when our students transfer, that is one of the biggest challenges that they face. They're prepared, they're smart, they're super successful, but adjusting to a much shorter semester is really challenging. Because of this, in my own on-campus courses, we're sort of playing around with this pilot, and we've shortened ours in history to be about 16 weeks. So it gets you a little bit, it gives you the experience of a more condensed semester, and regardless of where you transfer, I promise you it will be condensed compared to what, no, I've never been in a school that had an 18-week semester that's unusually long. So I think that works really well, and you have a nice fall break in there, which you can use to travel. I do want to talk a little bit about the courses. So you'll have a faculty member from each district. And so there'll be 4 of us all teaching very different courses. But what's really interesting when you look at the courses, there is a lot of commonality in terms of working interdisciplinarily. So I think whatever you're taking sort of all feeds into one another, and all students and all faculty will participate in this wonderful Spanish life and culture course. And I'll let Paula talk a little bit more about that as well. But this is a course everyone is in, and it again is interdisciplinary, and a lot of it is engaging with aspects of Spanish culture, whether that be sports, whether it be a cooking class, whether it is an excursion to another town. So this is a really great way to walk away from this experience with the feeling that you've really lived in another place. You didn't just visit as a tourist, that you are actually, you take that with you. And that's, again, that's one of those forever experiences. So this will be really enriching for all of us. So the courses that are offered will have from Santa Rosa, uh, Professor King will be teaching biology courses. So you could get a science requirement done if that's what you needed. From Contra Costa, you'll have Professor Miller offering sort of humanities arts courses. And the nice thing about this is that CSM, we don't teach as many of humanities courses. So it's a way to get an experience with a very interdisciplinary course for gen ed requirement. from Los Rios. They'll be offering these courses. I want to take every single one of these. Music courses. There's one on rock and roll. There's a world music. Um, so those will be really interesting from a historian perspective. There's a lot of connections there with my courses. And then these are the courses I'll teach. I'll teach a ancient Western Civ that goes to the early modern era, a modern world history course, and interestingly, if you haven't done it, the US survey, the first half of the US survey, which is students usually take that to fulfill a requirement for the UC and CSUs. But to be able to do that in Barcelona, I think is a really nice way to take this course. So there's lots of ways that we'll be in the classroom for sure, but we'll spend a lot of our time outside the classroom doing experiential learning. So looking at those sort of connecting points, that really helped in the forces that helped shape what becomes the United States. So I think those are really fabulously interesting courses. I think, one probably the last thing I want to cover is why do study abroad now? You could do it when you transfer, but I think there's a huge advantage of doing it before you transfer. And I'd just like to sort of give my 2 cents about why I think now is it's better to do it before you transfer. So many of you will be entering into, impacted programs. It's hard enough to get your courses. And wherever you transfer to, you won't be there very long, right? You'll spend that first semester getting adjusted. And then if you go away, you only have 1 year that you're at that campus, probably for a lot of you. And so I think sometimes when students do study abroad later in their undergraduate career, it can be really difficult to get their major courses. Here, everything transfers. You don't have to worry about, will it count here or will it count there, or do I have any general electives left? So you don't have to worry about any of that. And I also think in that last year of your undergraduate, very often some of your time is spent trying to get internships or preparing for graduate school, if that's the path you're going, and you don't really want to be away from from your campus in that last year. Because again, you're prepping for the job market or you're prepping for grad school. And so I think doing it somewhere in the time that you're spending before your transfer is the perfect time. You can get everything you take, no matter what it is, counts towards one of your requirements. And you're already on this campus. You are part of this campus. You're not acclimating to it. And so I think fall is a really good time because you can go away for a semester, you can come back, reintegrate, be prepared to transfer or to start back in the spring at our campuses. So I think those are some of the reasons why it really makes sense to do it now. In the last one, not that it's the most important one, but the last reason is it's usually far more affordable to do it now than it is after you transfer, because then you're looking at having to pay tuition at your home institution, which is usually significantly more. So it often cases it doubles, at least doubles what you pay in tuition. And I don't say that And again, I don't think that's the most important reason. I think some of those other reasons are far more important. Um, but it matters as well because study abroad is never an insignificant cost. However, I think doing it at the community college level financially makes a lot more sense. And I think there's more scholarships to be had and ways to kind of reduce the cost that you're not probably going to have access to once you transfer. Um, so I'll turn it over to Paula for now. And just whenever anyone has any questions for me, let me know.
Thank you, Professor Hunt. I want to second what you just said. As the mother of a CSU student who transferred from community college to CSU, couldn't study abroad because of the pandemic during
Oh, yeah.
his community college and had to wait to the CSU. He paid a lot more. I paid a lot more than he would have had he been able to do it in the community college. So that is a fact. My name is Paula Messina, and I work with AIFS Abroad. I was a former study abroad student. I studied with AIFS back in the day, and have been part of the AIFS abroad since 1991, so about 33 years, working in Spain and Latin America on programs, and the mother of two former study abroad students. Both were community college students that transferred. I live here in Los Angeles, so both did their community college and then transferred to Cal States. One did it in the community college. The other, unfortunately, had to delay because of the pandemic, but they both did it, and they both agree that it's the best thing they've ever done. One just got his first after college job yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And he talked a lot about his study abroad experience in that job interview. And they got the point. They really did. So it's all real. I can testify to that. And I'm going to go a little bit more through the program components. Besides your academics, we really want you to dive into the life and culture of Barcelona and of Spain. So besides the activities that are part of that Spanish life and culture program, we will have a calendar of weekly activities. Something is going to go on all the time. And so there will be events that are free, and there will be events that will be subsidized, which means you'll pay a small participation fee. So we will do additional cooking classes. There'll be sporting events. There'll be tickets to soccer games. There'll be walking tours, some cultural and theater events and concerts and things like that. So something is going on every single day. Next slide. You'll also get an art ticket pass, which is fantastic, right? So this pass will give you one free entry to 6 of the best museums in Barcelona, arts and history museums. So these will be maybe part of your course curriculum, part of what you study in Spanish life and culture, and you'll be able to visit all of these museums and see some of the world's best, generally contemporary art, right? It's a lot of art from the 19th, 20th, maybe 21st century. But some of the best surrealists in the world were from Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain, that area. And so Barcelona is really well known for modernism, and
I think the Jean Moreau Museum may be one of my favorite spaces on planet Earth. I love it.
really, really cool.
Yeah,
It's just such an artistic city, isn't it? The
it
whole city
really
of
is.
Barcelona, the architecture, the color, it's such a colorful city. So
Yeah, from street art to, very formal
yeah,
art, everything.
yeah. Also, we will have included in the program will be a full day excursion to Girona and Figueres. Girona is on the left. That is a medieval town on the way to France. It's north of Barcelona, a few hours. As you ride to Girona, you see the Pyrenees Mountains, which are that mountain range between Spain and France, and they're snow covered and such a beautiful ride. And then we'll visit that medieval town. It was a story in diversity and multiculturalism back in medieval times, because they had three different cultures living there in harmony, I guess you could say, or at least in peace. The Muslim, the Christian, and the Jewish populations that inhabited Girona. After that visit of Girona, you will go over to Figueres, which is a beach town on the Mediterranean Sea. And you will visit, you'll be able to see the seaside and the coast, and you will have an audio guided tour of the house of Salvador Dali, that very famous artist. That is a photo of his home there in the beginning. You can see the giant eggs and little statues on the top. It is something, as they say, surreal. He was a surrealist, so you'll be able to enjoy his story, his artwork, and visit his home. You'll have a transportation pass included in the program. So that is great, because Barcelona is a big city. It's the second largest city in Spain. It's got a population of, if I remember right, around 2 million people. Madrid is about 4 million. I believe Barcelona is just over 2. Yeah, I think so. And so it is large, right? So you will have to use public transportation occasionally to get around, to get to class maybe, and back to your accommodation, to get to the cultural activities, to explore on your own, right? We want you to make Barcelona your home. So you'll be tooling around using that TMB pass and swiping it on buses and metros and trams. And it's good for unlimited use for the duration of the program.
In the transportation system there, I mean, I'm a big walker, so I walk a lot, but the transportation system there is terrific. It's clean, it's safe, runs. It's one of the most efficient things in Spain.
I agree. The metro is spectacular.
It's really spectacular.
Housing is included in the program, so you don't have to worry about where you live. We're able to offer a choice of housing. Homestays are the mode of housing that is included in the program fee. 2 students per homestay, so it will be a double room, twin beds, with a local family. It is great because it includes meals too, right? Breakfast and evening meal daily, weekly laundry, and sorry, I wanted to go back.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
No, no worries. Weekly laundry is included, access to Wi-Fi, approximately a 30-minute commute. So these will be apartments, which is how people in central Barcelona live. They live in apartment buildings. These will be apartments dotted around the central zone of Barcelona. And those are a great way to really immerse yourself in the life and culture, right? You're going to get a lot of practice speaking Spanish. You'll get a lot of real personal ties to people from Spain. They're great to give you advice and ideas, and you can ask them plenty of questions. You'll learn about their culture. Like Professor Hunt mentioned before, Spaniards are extremely friendly, very talkative, lots of fun. So they really are fun people. Or you can choose a student apartment. So for a more independent lifestyle, you can decide to live with other students from the program in a student apartment. And like the homestays, they'll be dotted around the city. We don't have one single building for the apartments. That will be an $870 supplemental fee. It is a little more expensive, but it's a one-time $870 fee. There, no meals are included, but you will have full kitchen access. So the apartments are kitchen, living room, bathroom, Wi-Fi, washing machines, and kitchen access. Go ahead, Professor Hunt.
Could I interrupt for one
Yeah,
sec?
please.
Just to say, I think both of these are really great options. I don't think that one is better than the other. They're just very different experiences. Um, my daughter did 3 study abroad programs. She did one in Thailand, one in Indonesia, and one in France. But the one in Indonesia, she did do a homestay, and she's remained, and this was many years ago, and she's remained really good friends with that family ever since. And so I think that can be a really unique and special experience. But if you do decide to go the apartment route, which also gives you the experience, as Paula said, as being really independent, some things in Barcelona are just far cheaper than they are here. I mean, a lot of things, day in and day out living. So while, you have the expense of the program, no doubt, but day in and day out, it is way cheaper everyday living in Barcelona than it is here. Like the grocery stores, food's much, much cheaper, things like that. So just to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh.
We're good with that one, yeah. So we wanted to give you a summary of everything that we've talked about. The program fee is $9,125. That includes your accommodations for 3 months in a local homestay. Or you can choose a student apartment. There would be a one-time $870 supplement for that. It includes access to the AIFS Study Center, which is where your classes will be held. It includes having AIFS student services staff holding regular office hours and also on call 24/7 in case of any kind of after hours emergency. It includes an orientation program and workshop. It includes a guided tour of Barcelona and a local area tour as well. It includes weekly subsidized activities, all the ones that we mentioned, your full day excursion to Girona and Figueres. It includes your art ticket pass, your travel card, which is the local transportation card. It includes medical insurance. So you will have medical insurance that will cover you for any medical care that you need for the duration of the program and up to 30 days after the end of the program if you're going to continue traveling over the holiday. And it includes pre-departure services and an orientation. So in mid-August, we will meet all of us together from all of the districts, and we will have a pre-departure orientation to get you ready for the program.
Oh, Paula, just
Yeah.
wanted to add, healthcare in Barcelona is excellent. It's among the best, if not the best in Europe. And I can say for someone who has a kid who lives there full time, she gets amazing medical care. So that's a nice thing that you really don't have to worry about.
We wanted to point out what is not included. So the program fee wouldn't include your airfare. We will be offering an optional group flight, or students can purchase their own flight. So if you have a credit card that gives you points, if you have a parent in the industry that gives you the ability to fly at a discount, then you are certainly able to purchase your own flight. Your community college tuition fees are not included, but we're going to talk about financial aid in a minute. Textbooks, there may be some course lab fees. Barcelona is going to be your laboratory for sure. So some of the courses may include a small contribution fee toward the activities that you will participate in those courses. That will be upfront before you register. Information will be available. Personal expenses, including passport fees and personal travel, is not included. And I did want to just pause for a second to urge you all to get a passport, right? Get it sooner rather than later. Start the process. Passports are good for 10 years. The earlier you get it means you can do it by regular service. If you wait too long and get it too close to the departure time, you have to get it by expedited service, and that is much more expensive. It's over $100 more. So definitely get that passport. And that's Kelly. I always forget, but Kelly's going to jump in and tell you.
Yes, actually, Skyline College has a passport office right next to my office. If you need a passport, come over. You don't need an appointment. I will help you with it. Monday to Friday, our hours is 9 to 12, and then 1 to 4. And actually, I'm gonna give you free photos if you come here. That's worth over $20. If you take photo at Walgreens, that's over $20. And then we are giving the study abroad students free photos.
I always forget that the only school I work with that has that. So
I know.
it's such an advantage. Actually, when I come in January, I think I might get mine renewed. So, going back to meals, homestay students get breakfast and lunch daily. That is a great advantage, right? That homestay is such a good value. And Spanish food is spectacular.
Yeah.
Worldwide trip protector insurance. So this would be an insurance that is not medical. It's an insurance policy to protect your program fees. So that $9,000 fee, it would protect your fees in case of program cancellation or interruption. So in case you got sick and had to drop out, then that policy would kick in and would reimburse you your non-refundable program fees. Okay, so that is an optional thing that will be offered to you. Students can purchase that additional program insurance if they want.
Paula, I would just add back to the textbook and course
Yes.
labs. I can't speak to the other courses, but just my courses are all zero cost, just as they are when we're on our campus. Because history textbooks are a lot of money, so we can get great sources without
I think a lot of the faculty are with the same mindset, right? They want to make it as cost efficient as possible. So we're trying to do that as well. A little note about financial aid. Financial aid can be used to help pay your program fees. So that's a great advantage. It's all processed the way it is every single semester. And Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first time we've done this slide, but it would be processed through your home college financial aid. And you would make sure that when it's available, which I think should be any day now, the 2025-2026 FAFSA would apply to this program. So the one that is about to open. And awards might include grants or student loans. So students who want to use financial aid to pay their program fees, they would work with the AIFS enrollment team to fill out a form letting us know how much financial aid you're receiving and when the disbursement date will be. That disbursement date is generally after you're in Barcelona. So AIFS is able to wait for program fee payment until you're in Barcelona and you get those funds, but you have to work with our staff to fill out the proper forms. But that makes it a little easier. We wanted to give you a little breakdown as far as what the costs are and give you some max financial aid figures, although we don't have the figures for 25-26. So we use the ones for this academic year, just to give you an idea. If we add up the program fee and the estimated cost of the group flight, we won't have the group flight until February, I believe. We will know the cost of the group flight. And then we estimated $1,000 a month in spending money, right? So we estimated that you will be needing about $3,000 total, about $1,000 a month. And that is generous. That's very generous for meals, travel, and fun. I think $1,000 a month is with one out-of-country trip on a free weekend, or that weekend or that week break, because you'll have a week break right in the middle of the semester of travel.
Yeah, that would not be lean. That would be,
It would be, right? I thought so
yeah,
too.
yeah.
So the total funds is 13,725. The maximum Pell Grant for this academic year is 3,447. And of course, your Pell Grant award depends on your estimated family contribution, right? It's how much you're eligible for. But if you're eligible for the max Pell Grant, then you can subtract that amount. You can subtract the Cal Grant, which is 825. And if you're eligible for the Cal Grant, you may be eligible for the Student Success Completion Grant. And that grant, if you take 15 units while you're in Barcelona, so if you take 5 classes instead of 4, it bumps up to $4,000. So that is a great grant to get. And then you could get subsidized loans as well. So this is only using financial aid. The amount you would have to contribute would be between $4,600 approximately to under $1,000. That would be your out of pocket. If you don't have any grants, then of course there's more out of pocket, same program fees and total. Students who don't qualify for grants may qualify for an unsubsidized or a subsidized loan. And that would be the rest of the money that they would have to contribute. The optional group flights would be an optional additional. I estimated it at 1,600. That is approximate, but it will be round trip from SFO to Barcelona and back, and it will include airport pickup when you get to Barcelona. So that's a good thing. It's meet and greet in the Barcelona airport, transfer to the local hotel. That is the first night. The whole group will be in a local hotel. And then it will be transportation to your accommodation. And then at the end of the program, it's also return at the end. As far as using financial aid is a great resource, but it's not the only financial resource available to you. There are a lot of scholarships available. The great thing is that you've started this process early. So there will be a lot of scholarships open. The first scholarship is managed through Kelly's office. That is an AIFS scholarship. We support the district with one $1,000 scholarship and 2 $500 scholarships for district students who go on this program. So you have a 1 in 20 chance of winning money from AIFS if you apply. And then there are several others. And Kelly, if you want, I will throw it to you to talk more about the Gilman and some other scholarships that are available.
Of course. Yes. I just typed in the chat. There's on our website, there's a page says how to pay. So there are a few options on the page. Of course, right here, we have list all the other options that you can apply. The biggest one, I just put in the chat is Gilman Scholarship. If you are eligible for Pell Grant, and you have FAFSA, updated FAFSA on file, then you can apply for Gilman Scholarship. Awards up to $5,000. And I highly recommend you apply. I actually work with you with your application and your scholarship essay. We have tutors, a learning center that can help you with your essay. So guide you through. I put the RSVP form in the chat. Please RSVP for the event. I know it's only November. The event is in February. It's too early to think about it, but it's never too early to think about how to get money for your next trip, study abroad program. So work with me on that. Or you can get started early to write your essay. Um, I will link the Gilman website here as well. Look into the website to see what are their requirements. You can start writing your essay during the winter holiday and then come back because the application will open in mid-January. Then you're ready to submit your application. Another big one is Fund for Education Abroad. It awards up to $5,000 as well. We did have students apply for that and receive the money. So, by the way, the Gilman and the Fund for Education Abroad and other scholarship, they're not connected. The good thing is if you write your scholarship essay, you can reuse them. They don't talk to each other. So, of course, you have to modify your essay to meet each scholarship requirements. So, work on that. As for financial aid, Miss Messini talked about you have to work with our school financial aid office to check if you are qualified for any financial aid. If you don't have FAFSA on file, I read on the website it says the FAFSA will open on December 1st for 2025-2026 school year. So start early to talk to them about it. Yes, or you feel free to contact me if you have any questions regarding scholarship. I'll jump into this slide as well, creative funding ideas. And besides scholarship and financial aid, you can be creative. We had students, they make bracelets to sell. They make candles to sell. Fundraising idea. Also, they talk to their relatives, their relatives they haven't met for years, and then write them email or letter, handwrite them letters to send to them, tell them about your study abroad planning and hope them to support you. They actually did get a lot of money from their distant relatives and their families. Don't be shy. People will help you. If you have a big dream like this, tell them why you want to study abroad, how this study abroad program can help you with your study, with your future career. I'm 100% sure some of them will help you, even with GoFundMe account that strangers might be able to help you. Highly recommend to do it. At most, they can say is no, so you don't lose anything by ask. So just like I tell my daughter, ask. Simply to ask. You don't lose anything to ask. At most, they can say is no, but that doesn't hurt you. It might hurt your feeling a little bit, but some people might say yes. And eligibility. So you must be 18 years old by the time departure. So when the time you apply, you don't have to be necessarily be 18, but before you leave, you must be 18. And your GPA must be 2.25 or higher, and they must complete 12 units of college level courses. You could use spring 2025 courses to meet your requirement if you don't currently have 2.25 GPA and 12 units. We will have you fill out a form. It's called provisional acceptance, which means you are committed to meet this requirement. I will walk you through the steps. Is this experience right for me? For me, yeah. We will talk about actually all the students they apply through the program will go through interview process with professor. We will talk to you, make sure that this program fits your needs, academic needs, and personal growth needs, and also it's right for you. You're ready for this level of independence. You will be living abroad for 3 months without your parents. You will be co-living with your classmates, but you will be doing your own laundry, cooking your own meals, or go out to eat. Also manage your finance. And you might have money from your parents or you saved up the money. But how do you manage? You make sure you have money to spend for 3 months. You don't spend all your money in the first week to buy whatever things you laid eyes on. So make sure you are independent. Also, in Europe, the drinking age a little is much lower than the US. That we want to make sure you are responsible for yourself and make sure if you go out with your friends and that you are taking care of yourself and you're be able to watch over for your friends. Um, yes.
Can I just interrupt for one
Mhm.
second? I mean, when after people apply and we do the interviews, but also when we're all together, we will talk a lot about what to expect, what's different in Barcelona than here. I think it's such a wonderful place. It really is truly magical. Um, and I've traveled to many places in the world, but it is my go back to every year spot. So, but we'll
Mhm.
talk about everything in great detail so everyone when once we leave feels really confident and comfortable, and they'll know they're supported and they'll know how to manage. And if there's ever a second when you're there and you don't know, we're all there to help you. You are never alone in this process.
Yes, we will be guiding you along the way. Actually, one of our student ambassador, Vanessa, is here.
Oh,
She
no.
just came back from Florence. She studied, it's the same program. This one is in Barcelona, but she participated in the Florence in spring 2024. And then she now works in our office. She can share about her experience and how she navigated Florence. How did she like the study abroad program?
Yeah, hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm a sophomore at CSM, but I work at Skyline College. But yeah, I went abroad this past spring to Florence, Italy, and honestly, it was like one of the best experiences of my life. Obviously, Florence is not as big of a city as Barcelona, so that's kind of like a um another factor to consider, but still I think the overall experience of being in another country and um enriching yourself just about like who you are, your academics, what you want to do with your life, like stuff like that in general is really cool and like you discover a lot about yourself. I think for me personally, like it established or solidified what I wanted to do in terms of my career. And I also like it kind of made me realize that there's a lot of opportunity. Like I'm not just enclosed to like California in the United States. Like I can kind of do anything that I want anywhere, if that makes sense. And it kind of just inspires you because you're really and I feel like it's also a test to you who you are and what you want to be, like I said before, because you also have all this freedom. And I feel like if you use it to the best of your advantage and like the best of your ability, like it can really set you up for like success and you can build connections all around the world. Like there's this like person that me and like all my friends over there met and like most of us still keep in touch with him. He was from Albania. Like you just are able to make connections everywhere and like all my classes were super fun. Like I still keep in touch with my professor from the Sacramento um the Los Rios district. So yeah, it's overall just really cool. And I know for Barcelona, you can do the homestay option, which is not an option for Florence, just because it's a smaller city, but like that's also already like setting you up for connections around the world. Like that's so cool to be able to call another family your family around the world. So I don't know. I would say if you are able to jump on it and like take advantage of the opportunity, I would say 100% do it. I'm even considering doing an internship in Barcelona just because I went to Barcelona. I think that was my first trip um while I was over there. So it's a really beautiful city and like and this is a wonderful opportunity. So if you can do it, do it. Take advantage of your resources. There's scholarships everywhere. You don't have to confine yourself to the scholarships that you see on the slideshow. Like you can find money elsewhere. Like when there's a will, there's a way, and you'll learn that. So yeah.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Vanessa. Very well said. I put the application link in the chat. And then now we are opening up for questions. Feel free to unmute yourself, show your, turn on your cameras, and ask questions. Oh, Carmen, you're muted.
Oh, so one of the questions I have is about airfare. So basically, in the whole package that we paid, that 9,000 to like 13,000, and so it doesn't include like our airfare. So that means we have to pay like our plane to go and to come back. Is that am I? That's right.
Oh, Paula, you're muted.
Sorry, I muted my double. You can opt into the group flight, which means we will make the reservation for you on a set flight that we have and add it to your program fees.
Okay.
If you would prefer to look online because you think you can find something less expensive, or if you have points or something like that, then you can book your own. But you don't have to. You can just opt into the group flight. But it will be a separate charge.
Yeah. Okay. But that would still that would include my plane ticket to go to
Right, it
Barcelona.
will be your
Okay.
round trip airfare, and it will also be airport transportation in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? Well, you feel free to email us or call us if you have questions. Um, I'm typing my email address in the chat, and Vanessa is a great resources if you
Yeah.
have questions. As student to student, she went to abroad. She stayed there for 3 months. She has great advice. So her email address is in the chat. Feel free to email her. And we are here. Oh, another one is Kylie. Kylie also went to Florence. She's working on a project right now. Her email address is in the chat. And yeah, feel free to contact us if you have any questions. And we recommend you apply early to reserve your spot because the program does fill up quickly. We only have 20 to 25 spaces available for each school district. For our school district, that's CSM, Cañada College, and the Skyline College. For three colleges, we only have at most 25 spots. So apply early, and so also apply early is also benefit to yourself that you know you're going, and that you will you will work toward your goals, and then to save money to get yourself ready, and all those things. It's like you know you want to do this next year. It's great that you're joining our info session a year ahead. You will be successful for your study abroad trip because you are very well prepared.
The other thing it will help you do is plan your spring schedule. So if you know you're going to do the Barcelona program, you can look at all the courses being offered and make sure. So you might be focused more in the spring on your major requirements rather than your gen ed requirements and fulfill those when you're in Barcelona.
Yes, we do have the courses listed on our website. Here's a link. I would suggest you meet with your counselor to set up education plan if you are planning to go to Barcelona. So that way you know that which classes you're taking. Oh, I have to add one more. Why you should do this early, set up early, because some of the popular classes might get chosen early, might fill up quickly. For example, the Florence program, many of those courses filled up very quickly. So if you know which classes you want to take, you know you want to go to Barcelona, then you reserve your classes. Thank you again for joining us today, and I will stop the recording.
Kelly, can you drop my email in the chat while you're at it? It's Hunt J.